Though there were many evil dictators throughout history, today we are discussing the top 3 based on the estimated statistics for the total loss of life these individuals caused. Number 3. Between 1924 and 1953, Joseph Stalin, a revolutionary from Georgia, held the position of General Secretary of the Soviet Union. Coming from a low-income family, he joined the Marxist Russian Social Democratic Labour Party, where he met Vladimir Lenin for the first time. He joined the Bolsheviks as a full-fledged member and was crucial in the overthrow of Tsar Nicholas II and the establishment of a one-party system in 1917. His participation in the ensuing Russian Civil War won him multiple promotions, which enabled him to consolidate a significant amount of authority in the years that followed. He was a tremendously terrible tyrant who was ruthless and vicious in his daily dealings, as are all of the individuals on this list. He put in place a number of repressive policies through his totalitarian rule and the thousands of Soviet cadres who remained faithful to him in an effort to rid the Soviet society of dissidents, political competitors, and possible state adversaries. Under Stalin, millions of people were threatened with deportation to the Gulag prison camps, while countless others were detained, interrogated, tortured, and murdered for showing any evidence of disloyalty. Additionally, he played a significant role in the defection of his military leaders and the artificial famine that spread throughout Ukraine, 1932 to 1933. The precise number of people killed under Stalin's rule is extremely difficult to calculate, although historians currently believe that up to 40 million people may have perished as a result of his social, political, economic, and military policies. However, because the Soviet Union took drastic pains to guarantee that papers referencing their crimes were destroyed, the true number will never be fully known, including the silencing of individuals when necessary. Despite this, these facts unequivocally show that Joseph Stalin was among the cruelest and most vicious tyrants in history. Coming in at number 2. Between 1206 through 1227, the infamous Genghis Khan served as the Great Khan and founder of the Mongol Empire. Early in the 13th century, Genghis first rose to prominence by uniting the nomadic tribes of Northeast Asia and claiming universal sovereignty over the entire Mongol population. Genghis Khan launched the Mongol invasions into Asia and eventually Europe, not long after he came to power, conquering the great bulk of Eurasia and portions of northeastern Africa. Khan was able to start significant social, economic, and political reforms across his seized domains by the time of his death in August 1227. Which spanned over 23 million square kilometers in terms of size. He cemented his status as one of the greatest conquerors in history while also being acknowledged as one of the world's most cruel dictators thanks to the extraordinary amount of death and damage that his mounted troops inflicted. Genghis Khan was a very vicious and terrible leader, notorious for his harshness and savagery on the international scale, despite his leadership qualities and education as a warrior. Millions of unarmed villagers were murdered throughout his conquests in order to revenge the deaths of dead soldiers. Additionally, they had a reputation for laying siege to towns, particularly in China, starving entire civilian populations to death, and then setting the city on fire. Genghis Khan felt that the only means to guarantee the allegiance of the conquered people were through widespread terror and the use of mass extermination, operating under the doctrine of total war. Genghis Khan is therefore thought to have caused 40 to 60 million fatalities during his reign of terror, which led to an 11% decline in the world's population at that time. Genghis Khan was undoubtedly one of the most cruel rulers in history, especially when you consider his complete disregard for human life and intolerance of any sort of resistance, real or imagined. Topping off the list at number 1. The infamous Mao Zedong is at the top of our list of the worst dictators in history. The People's Republic of China, PRC, was founded by Mao, a Chinese communist revolutionary who also served as its leader from 1949 to 1976. Mao, who adhered to the political philosophy known as Maoism, which was highly influenced by Marxist-Leninist ideas, came out on top after the Second World War and the Chinese Civil War, establishing a one-party system in the years that followed. He launched his Great Leap Forward socialist education movement and Cultural Revolution campaigns in an effort to quickly consolidate power and stability for his newly acquired position. This economic transformation of China's economy from an agrarian to an industrial one was a crucial element of any communist society. Although he later received accolades from a variety of people and organizations for helping China rise to become a major global power, his repressive policies had a catastrophic impact on both human life and persecution. Mao and his cadres immediately started to work on repressing resistance, silencing dissenters, as well as torturing and killing anyone who stood in their way after enacting his transformation plans in China. He also imposed a lot of excessive grain collection measures that left the Chinese people without food because he was determined to quickly establish a communist society. Mao's shoddy planning and contempt for human life proved disastrous as millions of people were forcibly incarcerated in people's communes, which were nothing more than work camps. Mao Zedong, and his government members, are thought to have caused between 55 and 70 million fatalities overall during his reign of terror. However, historians are quick to point out that when those who died from malnourishment and famine-related diseases are included, these numbers could go as high as 80 million. Mao Zedong was undoubtedly the most vicious and ruthless tyrant in human history, a horrific distinction that will likely endure for the foreseeable future, especially in light of his widespread killings of innocent citizens and silencing of political opponents. Thank you for watching, and please don't forget to like and subscribe so that we can continue grow this community and discover more of history's mysteries.